You have to grow, or you will keep repeating it over and over and over again. And you keep telling yourself that I don't understand why homegirl over here gets to have the husband of her dreams at 22, but I'm 41 and I've never been married and I've been in horrible relationships. What do you think the difference is? It ain't the type of man she found. It's the type that you keep settling for. You are in this. And people hate that because they want to believe that it's something external that's causing their pain.
It
If you
has to
didn't grow
be.
when you left that relationship, you're going to be the same size, doing the same thing with the same capacity. Period.
Oh my goodness. The container ain't become a large, one of the moving containers. You still got
Listen,
one of them plastic joints that could maybe get a lunch in. You haven't
listen.
increased, but so you're telling me you want a Tonka truck size capacity, but you've only grown to the extent of a lunchbox. That's what we're dealing with here.
Yes. It's like the plant,
Ooh.
right? You know the plants that you put in those containers and you're like, I need to repot my plant so it can grow
Yeah.
and flourish. You keep planting
Mm-hmm.
yourself in the same pot and wondering why the plant won't grow. It's not going to flourish in that.
Oh.
You got to buy a bigger pot. It's got to have a different
Oh.
space to fill. And you keep promoting it to the same size pot and wondering why it looks the same. It's the same because you have to grow. You have to do it. As soon as you put that plant in a bigger pot, what happens? Roots are like, oh, what's up? We can go bigger?
That
Oh, the
joint.
leaves get to be bigger? Okay, we're doing that.
Oh my
That's what
goodness.
happens
That's
when
so
we
good.
promote ourselves. But we want to sit in this victimhood of
Yep.
life didn't deal me a fair hand, and the
That's
cards
right.
haven't worked out for me. And listen, I'm going to tell you this. It wasn't until the day I said, girl, you are the common denominator, that I realized that it was not them. It was literally control C and then go find an insert button. Go remove him with the control X and go find an insert button. Oh, these guys look the same. Of course they do. Because you look the same.
Not the same person in a different skin. Not the same person in a different delivery mechanism. Oh
Right.
my
Out here talking
goodness.
about self-love and self-care and you got the mask on saying, listen, I'm not just preaching this. I've done it.
You,
I
I know
love
you a
me. You have
testament.
to
You're a
love
walking
yourself first.
testament. You are a
Yeah,
walking
like I'm not going to
testament.
say it if I don't know it.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
just not.
facts. I know that
And I
about
was
you.
that same girl walking around here talking about self-love and self-care and I'm intellectualizing and I'm reading the books. Whole time you the same. You're the same. You're the same. You don't even inspect the situation before you make it your partner. You don't even learn the person before you put them in the space because you're like, "Oh, it doesn't matter who it is because my capacity is control. So I can
Oof,
turn that into what I need it to
oof,
be."
oof, ooh. I've been so used to build a bears. That's all I know. So I'm gonna turn you into one. And then when they can't mold and shift and fit in your box, now they're the problem. They're an issue, right? And it's so funny to me because I believe that the greatest thing that can happen to us in the context of relationship when we're in just this chaotic pattern, right? And this habitual cycle, which a majority of us fall into, is you find your match. Like, if you're somebody who is so addicted to give, 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 please, 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 I want you to meet the boss level, the Bowser to your Mario. That's who I want you to meet, just so you can see how ridiculous this is and how it will end your life. You will be deleted in the process of trying to fix this individual. You're going to meet your absolute match. And that's where most people get to. I met the narcissist of all narcissists, etc. And I realize there's like a shift that happens for most people who've been in that dire straits, right? In the most abusive, the most this, the most that. Finally, they start to look within because you have nowhere else to look. Now you can't control this one. You can't control this one. This one is chaos. It came to visit you at your front door. And that's the situation I found myself in. Give, give, give. Okay, I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna give you somebody to give to. Somebody who can never have enough. They are literally a void. They're a vacuum. So let's see how
Sponge.
far this goes. Correct. Correct.
Sucking it on.
They are going to meet you exactly where you are, which is you have endless giving that you want to create in order for you to be like at least have a sustainable source of your worthiness, right? Bruh, I am going to give you the devil spawn themselves. That's the type of experience I feel like most people have to go through to finally say, you know what? I can't do this anymore. Something's got to give. And by the way, Kara, I
Mhm.
wanted to touch upon something you said about like the 21-year-old and I'm 40, whatever. What I've realized is this: our pride is the only thing that will stop us from learning from somebody who we believe is not in a space of authority, right? So we say, oh, you are my child. That means you're supposed to see me as the authority figure. Well, guess what? Sometimes your 2 year olds got more lessons for you than you've learned throughout your entire lifetime. But you are
Say
so
that.
stubborn. You get what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about. So I think to myself, okay, this 21-year-old who was raised in a household that was filled with, let's say, actual unconditional love, right? And grows up with dynamics that are healthy, has those programs and those softwares conditioned into them. If you went and just spent time with that individual and saw how they process life, you might actually get exactly what you're looking for. You might actually know the roadmap to the exact location that is your freedom. But instead, you're going to whine, you're going to complain, you're going to blame the devil, you're going to blame your mama, you're going to blame anybody that you can, as opposed to looking in that mirror. You're going to pull out the X Files. You know the X Files? Whole bunch of aliens in there. That's what you got. You got the damn X Files. You're going to blame everybody in there, as opposed to, you know what? What if you just, how about this? An alternative. As Carrie said, how about you just for a minute, just for a moment, a second. You ain't got to do this all day long. Just do it for a moment. Sit down with yourself and say, okay, what is the pattern? Like, what is it? Let me just see what's been going on. What do I believe is the problem? And how have I been contributing to this? You don't even have to take full responsibility yet. We're not even going to put all that on you yet, even though that is the gateway to freedom. That is the only way to freedom. But just take
Yep.
part of it, right? What did I do in these situations? I promise you, if you can be honest with yourself in those moments, watch the shift that happens. Because we think there's going to be shame, there's going to be all this guilt, this self, yeah, this resentment towards self, etc. That's the thing we're running from. We feel if I got to take responsibility, that means all the blame in the world. That means all the weight of the world. In reality, that's been a condition, that's been a programming that you've been given when you were a child and you were in trouble. Like you grown. You're not nobody's gonna put you in a corner. It's okay.
Well, and that's in alignment with the whole entire process of this thing, right? Because you can't you can't understand that everything is not a personal attack if you're always personally attacking yourself, right? So like if I in my head am thinking, "Oh, you're not good enough. Oh, you're this type of person. Oh, you're the reason." Like I'm thinking that already. So there's no way that you can enlighten me to that because I can't handle it from you. I already have that narrative in my head. And then I'll take it a
Mm,
level further. I have blamed that narrative on my poor parenting, which is why I have that
mm,
envy for that 21-year-old because she's so lucky her parents taught her how to do love. She's so lucky she had an example as her dad and she mimicked that when she chose her husband. But you forget that maybe you didn't have those things. And
yeah,
yes, that might be your family system, but no one said you were entitled to having those things. Like you have to understand and grasp the fact that none of us are entitled to anything. So if we
absolutely.
weren't taught it, we have to take accountability to parent ourselves and teach it
Yeah.
to ourselves. And until we do that, we will forever blame it on someone else and take everything that other people say as a personal attack. I know,
Mm,
again, because I lived it. When I was in a space
absolutely.
where I was like, the perfectionism in my brain was so loud that everything I did was wrong and you're stupid and those narratives came from a earlier time in life. But if somebody critiqued me or gave me any type of fierce feedback, I immediately was shutting that whole thing down. And don't let it be about my parenting because my biggest
Mm,
source of shame was being a teen mom. So I was going to be a martyr. I was going to prove everybody that I was going to have a great kid and I was going to be a great parent. So if anybody tried to give me any type of feedback on how I was parenting, I immediately took it personally because that was my greatest shame. So the thing that we continue to do is say, oh, well, this person attacked me. This person
yeah.
attacked me. This part of my life is attacking me. If you are going to
Mm.
continue to commit to being the victim, you will stay right where you are. You
Oh,
cannot take yourself out of the space unless you decide that you are, in fact, in control of being the conductor of this train. You just can't.
Carrie, you said something. I mean, this is on a daily basis. I hear something from you that I've never heard somebody say in such a way. You said, when you feel as if a certain part of your life is attacking you. I think that might be the most honest narrative we can give to ourselves, right?
Mm,
Is it's not anything external that is actually doing the triggering. There's a part
mm,
of ourself that is already triggering, that's pointing to that wound, or that's
mm-hmm.
continuously reinfecting that wound, or whatever it may be, right? However it manifests in our lives. But damn, that's a bar right there. The part of your own self that is continuously probing and prodding. And you know what's wild is, again, there's like a shift of dynamics that I've started to see, as far as just like these concepts and ideas we've been taught. Like this idea of triggers, I believe triggers are actually one of our most powerful tools, right? They show you where the wounds are. If you can
Data.
highlight a trigger, you know exactly what it is you're offended about. Like if you are always, oh, I always had the big ears, and so I try to hide my ears all my life, and then I have a friend say something about the ears, all of a sudden I'm cutting them off because they triggered me. No, the trigger was a response of something you've been insecure about and holding insecurity about. And so if I go deep into that, I can heal deeper aspects of myself, which is it never was about the ears. It was about me not being worthy of love, right? For whatever reason. I'm defective. I got something wrong with me, right? So for me, I've taken a multitude of these concepts and be like, I think that's actually powerful and helpful. I think that's actually helpful. Even again, knowing that emotions, all negative emotions are indicators, right? So they're showing you that, hey, there's something going on internally. This conversation that you're believing that is not the truth, right? You're believing a lie somewhere in your life. And so when you talk about that part of you that's probing you all the time, I actually think that's a gift now. I think that is wholeheartedly a gift. That part of you that keeps
100%.
on pointing the thing out so you can look at it. Like, how else are you going to pay attention to it?